You call your cat's name. Nothing happens. You call it again, louder this time. Still nothing. The cat blinks slowly, turns its head, and walks away like you said nothing at all. You've decided this means something. Cats are aloof. Cats are cold. Cats don't care about you the way a dog does. But the answer is actually much stranger than that. Your cat heard you the first time. It heard you before you even opened your mouth. Because a cat's hearing range stretches far beyond yours, picking up frequencies you'll never notice. So the silence isn't confusion. It isn't deafness. It's a decision. To understand that decision, you have to go back. Not a few years, not a few centuries. Back to a time before our species built a single city. Roughly 10,000 years ago, in the Fertile Crescent, humans started storing grain. Grain attracted rodents. Rodents attracted wildcats. And here's the part that surprises most people. Nobody tamed those cats. They tamed themselves. They wandered into human settlements, found an easy meal, and stayed close enough to benefit without ever fully surrendering their independence. Dogs were bred for obedience. Cats were never bred for anything at all, not for thousands of years. That single fact still lives inside every cat you'll ever meet. Think about what that means for a moment. Your dog evolved alongside a job. Herd this, guard that, fetch, obey. A cat evolved alongside a choice. Stay, if it's worth staying. Leave, if it isn't. So, when your cat ignores you, it isn't malfunctioning. It's running exactly the software it was built with. Dr. John Bradshaw, an anthrozoologist who has spent decades studying feline behavior, has pointed out that cats never fully lost the instincts of a solitary hunter, even after thousands of years living beside humans. A solitary hunter doesn't respond to every stimulus around it. It filters. It conserves energy. It decides moment to moment what deserves its attention and what doesn't. And guess what? You are one of those stimuli. Sometimes you make the cut. Sometimes you don't. But here's where it gets more interesting, because the story isn't just about instinct. It's about attachment. And attachment is something scientists have actually measured. In 2019, researcher Kristyn Vitale at Oregon State University ran a study modeled on an experiment originally designed for human infants and their mothers. The setup was simple. A cat and its owner sit in an unfamiliar room. The owner leaves. The owner returns. Researchers watch what the cat does next. The results surprised a lot of people who assumed cats felt nothing close to bonding. Most cats in the study showed clear signs of secure attachment to their owners. They explored the room more when their person was present. They returned to check in. They weren't indifferent at all. So, if cats are capable of attachment, why the silence when you call? Because attachment and obedience are not the same thing. Your cat can love you and still ignore you in the same afternoon. Those two facts don't cancel each other out. They coexist. The same way you can care deeply about someone and still not answer their text right away. There's another layer here, one that has nothing to do with emotion and everything to do with biology. Cats are what researchers call a crepuscular species, most active at dawn and dusk. Their internal rhythm was shaped by millions of years of hunting small prey during those low-light windows. When you call your cat's name in the middle of a bright afternoon, you might be interrupting a rest cycle that's older than agriculture itself. Your cat isn't rejecting you. Your timing is just off. From a body clock, it never asked to change. Dennis Turner, a behavioral scientist who has studied the cat-human bond for decades, found something else worth sitting with. The relationship between a cat and its owner is shaped less by the owner's affection and more by how consistently the cat is allowed to control the interaction. Cats that get to choose when to approach, when to be touched, and when to walk away form stronger bonds with their owners over time. Cats that are chased, grabbed, or forced into affection often pull back entirely. In other words, the silence you're getting might be the price of respect, not the absence of it. Picture a cat sitting on a windowsill. It hears you. Its ears rotate, tracking the sound, independent of each other, almost like tiny satellite dishes recalibrating. But its body doesn't move. Why? Because moving means committing energy, and a solitary hunter that evolved to survive on unpredictable meals learned never to commit energy without a reason. Your voice on its own isn't a reason. Food? Might be. A specific tone? Might be. Repetition over months of trust building? Might be. But a single call, shouted once across a room, often isn't enough to override millions of years of energy conservation. This is the part that reframes everything. You've been measuring your cat's love by human standards, the same standards you'd use on a friend who doesn't text back. But your cat was never running human standards. It was running standards built for solitary survival, softened just enough by 10,000 years near your species to let attachment sneak in through the back door. Here's something that will change how you see your own cat completely. Watch what happens the next time you're in a room with your cat and you simply stop trying to get its attention. Don't call, don't approach, just exist. Within a few minutes, in most cases, the cat starts watching you. Not because it needs something, not because it's hungry, because the absence of demand from you registers as safety. And safety, to a species built on caution, is worth investigating. That single behavior explains almost every confusing thing your cat does. The way it ignores you when you want it, then curls up beside you the moment you stop wanting it. The way it walks straight past an outstretched hand, only to jump into your lap 10 minutes later when your hands are busy with something else. This isn't contradiction. It's consistency, just measured on a timeline you weren't expecting. There's a reason this feels so unfamiliar to us as a culture built around dogs. Dogs were selected, generation after generation, for responsiveness to human cues. A dog that ignored its owner didn't get bred forward. But a cat that ignored people never lost anything for it, because it never depended on people the way a dog eventually did. Even today, after thousands of years of living in our homes, sleeping on our furniture, and eating food we buy specifically for them, cats retain the option to leave. Feral cat colonies still exist in every inhabited continent. Domestic cats can, and sometimes do, survive without a human at all. That option, the ability to walk away and be fine, changes the entire meaning of the moments when a cat chooses to stay. So the next time your cat hears you, looks at you, and walks in the opposite direction, you're not watching indifference. You're watching an animal that has kept one paw in the wild for 10,000 years, deciding in that exact second whether your voice was worth more than its own instincts. Most of the time, it decides it isn't. But every so often, when you're not trying, When you've stopped performing affection and started simply being present, it decides that you are. And when it finally comes, uninvited, and presses its head against your hand, that's not obedience. That's not training. That's a wild animal, still carrying every instinct its ancestors carried across 10,000 years, choosing you anyway. You called your cat's name, and it walked away. But it was never ignoring you at all. It was just waiting for a moment worth answering to.